basically I form part of the BMX Association. I've been coming here for the past 18 years now. I started off when I was 10, and the actual BMX Association has been around for 25 years. It got set up by John Zammit. He basically saw the interesting kids just riding in the street, and he thought he'd just provide a place for kids, a safer environment for kids to ride their bikes, just not in the streets. Like, he comes from a cycling background, so he loves, his passion for two wheels just got transcended to us on BMX, I didn't know how to ride a bike till I was 10, and a friend of mine always had this bike. I was always curious, how to figure out how to ride this thing. But one day he just took me to this field, and he's like, here, sent me down the hill. I just did not stop falling, like, all afternoon. After a few hours, I figured out how to balance. I was like, oh, I got hooked, What else can I do with this thing? And he told me there's a track. I couldn't believe it, what I mean? Malta's so small, you kind of know where everything is. And I stumbled upon this place, and that's it. I just have not stopped coming. There's not a Saturday that I miss. Like, even if it's raining, I'm here, Whether it's building jumps, just hanging out with the guys. We're more of, it's not like a sports club, it's more of just a bunch of guys hanging out, what I mean? It's like a culture kind of thing, what I mean? You don't train to be the best. You come, you ride, you just express yourself in any way you want, what I mean? You don't have to do the biggest tricks or whatever. It's just about having fun on your bike and hanging out with your friends. Like, your friends push you to do better. So it's, what I mean? It's the best combination you can have. Well, as far as first aid goes, we've done a few courses, general first aid, what I mean, when it comes to minor cuts and bruises. But it's a bit of a tough activity on the body, what I mean? So there are a few bad crashes once in a while, mostly from the older guys, us, what I mean? And we've been going through it for so long, you kind of know how to deal with a certain situation, what I mean? There are a few trips in the ambulance, the hospital, sometimes, stitches or broken bones. But it's all part of the game, what I mean? There are injuries in everything you look at, football, basketball. Ours is just more of a full-on contact sport, so you just have to expect these things. Our number one priority here is that everyone rides with a helmet. You're not allowed not to ride with a helmet. Abroad, it's 18 and over, they get to choose if they want to wear a helmet or not. But here, it's not really an issue, what I mean? You either wear the helmet or you don't ride. Nowadays, you've got the internet and Facebook. Those are like any individual's marketing tools, what I mean, if you want to look at it that way. We set up a website, and me and my friend just run it, what I mean? We post our own personal videos of us riding activities, videos from guys who ride abroad and stuff. And that's how they get, it's more of a word of mouth, and especially nowadays, like with TV and stuff. BMX has gotten into the home of everyone, so everyone now really knows. Like, every kid has a bike, what I mean, more or less. So they have a bike, they see what they can do with it, and they... Well, like abroad, nowadays, there are insane sponsors, what I mean? Really big competition guys are earning a living within a year to last them 5 or 6, what I mean? Like, there's a full-on salary, like 5-6 figures even, abroad. But that's a whole other side to it, what I mean? That's competitive. That's the competitive side to BMX, and there's a lot of training, there's a lot of backing from sponsors. They don't have to worry about jobs or paying bills, what I mean? Because they're getting funded by them. For us, it's more of a, like you said, a passion, what I mean? We don't get paid to do any of this. We've been here all throughout the winter. I myself have spent the last 5 months throughout winter barely riding, just building my jumps, just so that now sun is out, there's no wind, I can ride them, what I mean? That's the satisfaction you get of just, we like I said, we're a DIY community, we just, if we need something, we build it ourselves. We even fund it ourselves most of the times. Like, it's hard to get funding or whatnot. It's getting better, but as far as funding goes, most of it is from our pockets. Basically, we have on our roster, we set up 3 major events a year. There's one in June, there's one in December. Normally we have one January, February, depending on the weather. We always end up pushing that to March, April, because the weather just keeps on getting bad. But yeah, we have these 4 events a year, like 3 or 4 events, major ones, you know. We organize barbecues throughout the week and bonfires. We have like little parties with music going on. And basically we just try gather up the community, you know. There are a few bike shops. There's like one guy like just who's always ready to help me out. He just gives me stuff just to give away, you know what I mean? He doesn't really gain anything out of it, but he loves that we love it so much, you know what I mean? It just goes hand in hand. And it's cool, like last November we had an event, Sticking to Our Roots. I mean, we had easy 500 to 600 people here throughout the weekend, and that wasn't even riders. We had another 100, I never saw so many people, about easy 150. It was just packed, mud everywhere, just kids on bikes. Like, I had 50 people from the UK coming, and that's an honor in itself, because like those guys came down. We don't really have not an amazing setup, but when you compare setups to abroad, they're quite professional. Here, this is what we have, and we're quite proud of what we have, very proud actually. And they came, they rode our jumps, and they're intimidated by our jumps. To me, that's quite an honor, you know what I mean? Like, I built something that dudes who get to ride 100 more parks than I do a day, they're scared of my few jumps. So I'm like, yeah, that's good. But you've got kids, mostly they start off at about 7. They're quite wobbly, you know, so most of the time they're on the floor picking themselves up, trying to figure out why they fell. And it's cute seeing it, because I remember myself just coming here and spending the first few years just on the floor, you know. Like, why did I fall, you know what I mean? I'm trying so hard. Like, but that's, yeah, but I'd say 6 or 7 is the youngest, and then oldest is myself. I'm 28, I've been here for like 18 years. And you have a few riders that come and go, like, but mostly, I don't know what it is, but once they turn 18, the whole addiction to cars and stuff just gets in, so they get lazy, and then it's hard to come back after you've taken a break, you know. But I think the beauty of BMX is that once you pick it up, once you feel that spark inside, even if you've stopped for like 10 years, it's there, you get excited about it. Like last event we had in November, we had all the founding members here, we had guys throughout the years, like 25 years worth of members turned up here. These are guys who now have families, their kids are now coming here, you know, and it's all, and they're like, you know, I still feel, they're telling me like they still feel that they're part of it, you know what I mean? Even though they're not riding their bikes, they're still part of the family. It's just an extended family, this never stops growing. I think it's their natural instinct to worry, you know? Like, you've got the few parents that encourage their kids to just throw themselves across these mountains and stuff. But then you've got the parents who are quite reserved, you know, the second they fall and they go running. But you can't catch your kid all the time, you know what I mean? Part of, I guess, it's a learning curve, you know what I mean? Part of, I guess, it's life, you know, you fall, you get back up. And same thing with a bike, just literally, you know, you fall, you have to dust yourself off and just get back up. We signed the lease about 7 years ago for the next 49 years. We pay a rent for it, you know what I mean, every year. And it's hard, like, I mean, maintaining this place in itself is hard. Like I said before, like, we mostly fund it ourselves, or through the little bit of membership that we have, you know what I mean? The membership in itself is like 35 euros a year, which is peanuts compared to like what actually goes into running this place. I mean, for our section of trails, like the jumps in between the trees and stuff, that's basically funded by ourselves. We've got massive water tanks, which we scavenged off construction sites, which are getting rid of them, you know what I mean? We ask them and we get them here set up. We get water to fill them up. We buy dirt to top up the place, to build more stuff, you know what I mean? So it's all funded by us and for us. Annually, we try to travel at least once a year, because we, like, from the first trip that we actually went on, you start to realize how you instantly progress within a week. Just a week riding these ramps abroad, which are much bigger than yours. There's so much variety. The level abroad obviously is bigger, there are more people, so you're seeing tricks on a daily basis, you know, and just seeing that pushes us to ride more. I myself have been to Australia, Spain, I went to Germany for 2 weeks, and I go to England on a yearly basis riding this amazing spot called Chapel Woods, and like it's like another community like us, so just going from one little home to another home to another home, you know what I mean? And everyone's always so welcoming, just as long as you love it, you know what I mean? You love BMX, that's why you do it.